This is Meteorologist Steve Pellettiere, and I am the Weatherman. We have a special guest today, Troy DiLorenzo. He's been on the weathermanpod.com in the past. And today he's going to be talking about fire weather. Now, Troy is a firefighter in New Jersey and also a weather enthusiast and observer. So Troy has a lot of good information for you on fire weather. So here's Troy.
Hi, this is Troy DiLorenzo, guest speaker here on weathermanpod.com. Today my discussion involves effects of weather on wildfires. Imagine standing on a ridge at dawn. The air is bone dry, the temperature already pushing 95 degrees, and a hot wind is whipping through the valley. In minutes, a single spark becomes an inferno, racing faster than a car. That is not just fire, it is weather in action. Today I want to show you how temperature, humidity, wind, and precipitation don't just influence wildfires. They decide whether a spark stays a campfire or becomes a catastrophe. First, heat and low humidity are the silent arsonists. When temperatures climb and relative humidity drops below 20%, living plants and dead vegetation lose moisture rapidly. Grasses, leaves, and down timber become kindling with less than 10% water content. A match that would fizzle out in humid air now ignites instantly. Studies from the U.S. Forest Service show that every 10-degree Fahrenheit rise in temperature can double the rate at which fuels dry out. In 2024 and 2025, prolonged heat domes across the West turned entire landscapes into tinderboxes before any flame ever appeared. Next comes wind, an accelerant that turns a brush fire into a monster. It supplies fresh oxygen, fans flames, and carries growing embers miles ahead. A 20-mile-per-hour wind can make a fire spread 10 to 20 times faster than calm conditions. Remember the Santa Ana winds in Southern California, or the Diablo winds in the Bay Area. Those dry, downslope gusts have powered many of the state's most destructive fires, pushing flames through communities faster than evacuation orders can be issued. Wind also creates firewalls or mini tornadoes and flames that can loft burning debris over highways and rivers. Precipitation, or lack of it, sets the stage months or even years in advance. Extended droughts kill vegetation and leave behind massive fuel loads. Then, when the rain finally returns, they could trigger another problem. Rapid grass growth that later dries out is even more fuel. Lightning from dry thunderstorms is the #1 natural ignition source in the West, starting thousands of fires each year with no rain to extinguish them. The good news? Understanding these weather effects gives us power. Fire weather forecasters now use tools like the National Fire Danger Rating System to predict danger days ahead with remarkable accuracy. Moisture levels, wind forecasts, and atmospheric stability let firefighters pre-position resources and help communities prepare. So the next time you hear a red flag warning, high winds, low humidity, high temperatures, don't just think bad weather, think wildfire weather, because the flames don't decide when to burn, the atmosphere does. This is Troy DiLorenzo for weathermanpod.com.